Well, hi guys, Mark here, and welcome along today to a final thoughts review on the NC750X. Stay tuned and I'll give you my thoughts on it. Okay guys, well, welcome aboard the NC750X, and this is the DCT model. This is the new updated model for 2021-2022 with the new upgrades. So it's got the bigger frunk storage at the front, it's got the lower seat, better suspension, different revised windshield here, so lots of new upgrades on this model, a bit more power as well. So lots of really good improvements they've made. Honda UK have limited this bike for 2 weeks, and I've managed to put on around about 500 miles on it, and I have to say it's been an absolute joy. I love these NC750s. Hand on heart, I would have one of these. It's just a fantastic combination for me of the brilliant seamless DCT, incredible economy. I love the low revving nature of the engine. You know, it makes decent power at low revs, which makes it a very, very good tourer. If you want to do some long distance on it, it's a very relaxing bike. So we're just starting off here in a sort of typical sleepy village here in Dorset in the south of England, and one of the sort of places where the DCT really shines, because obviously no clutch, it's semi-automatic. You can change gears manually with these buttons here. I'll show you that at the end, but obviously put it in full auto and the box does its job for you, just changes gear automatically. And I've currently got it in sport mode. It's got sport, standard, rain and user definable. And from experience in about 500 miles, I found sport is kind of like the best, shall we say, to have it in terms of it selecting the correct gear. You know, we're doing like 30 mile an hour now in third. It'll drop it down now, but if you've got it in standard, it tends to put it in one gear higher than you may usually do, which is no too bad thing if you want a very, very chilled, relaxing ride and ultimate economy. But from experience, from what I found, sport is the sort of the better mode for what I find suits me. It gives you the maximum power. It's still got a little bit of traction control. It's got full engine braking, and it tends to hold on to the revs longer when you open it up. It doesn't change gear quite so soon as standard, and obviously rain is even a bit more sort of early to change as well. And then you've got your user, which you can change how you want. So just talk about the bike, how it rides through town. It's around about 210 kilos, something like that for the DCT, a bit lighter for the manual. It's really got a very nice weight to it. It doesn't feel unduly heavy. It's quite easy to push around. It's very, very stable at higher speeds. We'll try it on the dual carriageway later on, but I'm finding the weight of it just about right for me. Throttle response is all very, very gentle. It's not sharp at all. So we just come down to a stop now, and it's automatically put me into first gear. All very clever stuff. So when you wind it on, the auto clutch engages, and it's very, very smooth straight into second. It's a very upright position. I would say it's a tiny fraction, if anything, of forward lean. You can rake these bars back by the look of it. So it's generally on the whole a very, very upright position. The seat is super comfortable. I think I did about 2.5 hour trip once without a break, and no problems at all with numb bum. It really, really is a comfortable bike, this. So I'm not that tall, and I'm 5'7" with a 30-inch inside leg, and I can get my feet down flat to the ground easily. So good news for shorter riders. Maybe not such good news if you're well over 6 foot. you may want to sort of higher the seat a little bit. Your legs might be a bit cramped if you're well over 6 foot. I would say up to 6 foot fine, maybe 6 foot 1, 6 foot 2. But say if you're about 6 foot 5, you know, you may find this low seat a little bit too low for you. So general sort of like handling through town, low speed fueling, absolutely impeccable. There's no surging or hunting in the fueling. Yeah, it just purrs along. Third gear at the moment, 30 mile an hour, 2,500 revs. There's no vibrations at all at this speed. It's a very, very smooth engine. I've got no problems with vibrations, even at higher speeds. We'll go through that later on the dual carriageway. General visibility, mirrors, nice size, no vibes at all, good view behind. Can see a little bit of my elbows, but nothing at all. Really, really clear glass there in the mirrors. Suspension's been improved this year. Got the new dual bending valve on the forks, non-adjustable front forks, and preload adjustable rear, but very, very plush suspension. Not had any issues at all with nasty bumps sort of catching me out, and it's got very good road holding as well. So just out onto the open road now, just winding it open in sport mode. Tons of power, about 58 horsepower, but what this engine is renowned for is its torque. It produces that 58 horsepower very, very low in the rev range. You know, there's no need to ever take this engine above 6,000 RPM. Sort of 2.5 to sort of about 4.5 really is where it really shines, this engine. It's just like 3,000 now, opening it up, it performs very well. Metzeler Torrance tyres, good grip, no problems with them at all. So we've got a single disc up front, which is a shame that they haven't upgraded it for the dual like the 500s have. It really does still provide really good strong stopping power. Very strong, yeah, very impressive. Right, so first gear, full throttle. So as you can see there, you know, 0 to 60 is probably like 4.5, 5 seconds, maybe quicker. So it's very quick. It's quicker than you would think for 58 horsepower. This is where I find now the NC shines. Nice open roads. So the 60 miles an hour. We're in 5th gear at the moment. If I put it into standard, we'll probably in a sec put it into 6th gear. There you go, it's into 6th now, so it always changes one higher when it's in standard. More relaxing cruising, probably better miles per gallon. So yeah, for sure, standard is still very good mode if you're wanting a very, very relaxed ride. I have worked out the fuel consumption on it. It's very, very good. I've averaged 78 to a gallon. A lot of owners can get a lot more. That was with a lot of town work and, you know, running errands and toing and froing. So I think on a run you could easily get well over 80 miles per gallon, and that's UK, bear in mind. So exceptionally economical, putting it in the sort of the realms of the 500 Hondas. So we're just going to be coming on to a dual carriageway shortly, just to see how the NC750 handles to slightly higher cruising speeds. So I've currently got it in the standard mode, which puts it into top gear quite early. Cruising along an indicated 70, and we are literally just chugging along at 3,500 RPM. I can barely feel the engine beneath me. Absolutely fantastic like this for cruising like this. You're going to get really good economy. There's not much wind today, it's a beautiful day, and the bike is very, very stable. I can feel a little bit of wind on the bottom of my leg. Generally, all in all, good wind protection lower down. No wind at all in this sort of bubble here, and the taller Honda screen is doing a fine job of putting the wind over my helmet. But I have to say, I think I would you know, get something like an MRA or a Puig or a Jivy screen if it was my bike. I've just put it into manual mode now. I'm just going to drop it down 2 gears, down to 4th, get the revs right up to 5,000 RPM, still exceptionally smooth. Nothing through the bars, nothing through the seat, and the slightest buzz coming through the foot pegs, but absolutely nothing to worry about at all. So if I now hit the plus button over here on the left, that goes into 5 and that goes into 6th, and I can put it back into auto. So yeah, the DCT is just a joy to use, guys. Very relaxing at higher speeds like this. Bike's absorbing all the bumps very well, and it's nice plus suspension. It feels a nice size bike, this. It's not too big and it's not small. It's just that nice sort of middleweight ground, I would say. So top marks for me, guys, for the NC750 at higher speeds. Tank range was about 210 miles, and then the light started flashing. I have just reset that average there, that's why it's showing only 71 at the moment, but it was generally showing around about 78 to a gallon average, so it's pretty accurate. So a good 200 mile plus tank range on this. So but really nice seating position, nice wide bars, really nice easy to read LCD screen there. I mean, okay, it's not a TFT, but then, you know, this bike, it doesn't have all your bells and whistles, no electronic suspension, no cruise control, sadly, but a lot of that would put the price up. So these are very keenly priced. Back brake feels really good as well, lots of bike there. So this being a 750cc parallel twin, it's got the lovely 270-degree crank, which gives it a V-twin kind of sound and feel, which in my opinion is one of the nicest engine sort of configurations you can get. You can just feel it thumping away. It's very, very charismatic down below. Things I don't like about this bike, not a lot really. Honda have pretty much nailed it. This is an aftermarket optional Honda taller screen. As standard, it comes with a much shorter screen. I did ride a model before this about 9 months ago, still the upgraded model, and didn't like that shorter screen. I found it too much wind buffeting, and this screen, even though it's taller, is still a little bit on the noisy side. So you'd probably want to you know, experiment a bit, maybe go for like a Puig or an MRA or something like that. So back into sport mode now, it drops me down a gear. So down into sport mode now, drops me down a gear. So as you can see, plenty of effortless acceleration. It really does excel in that mid-range. So just to sum up, guys, really very comfortable riding position. It's all day comfortable. You know, I did about 250 miles one day on this, no problem at all. Could have done a lot more. The leg position pretty much straight down, plenty of room for me at 5'7". You'd still be alright if you were 6 foot as well. Suspension maybe basic, but they've upgraded it a bit for this model, and it's very, very compliant. It's very, very plush, no problem at all there. And it's just a really nice chilled out ride. You know, you put it into standard mode, it chucks it into 6th gear, and I'm just chugging along now at 60 miles an hour in 6th gear at just over 3,000 RPM. Very good service intervals on these, usual Honda 8,000 miles, which is utterly brilliant. Right, I'll just show you a bit of a roll on acceleration. So we're in sport mode, 3rd gear, 30 mile an hour, wide open. So yeah, as you can see, no shortage of performance there. Top speed on this, estimating around about 115 mile an hour. Right, we'll just try those brakes again, nothing behind. Oh, they are really good. So you see in sport mode it just revs out a bit further. That's quite nice. But as I said, you know, you've got the option of putting it into standard for a bit more of a relaxed ride. So at the moment, sort of 60 mile an hour, virtually no vibrations at all, nothing through the bars, nothing through the seat, nothing through the pegs. So exceptionally smooth quality engine. We've got quite a warm day today. The Metzler Torrance tyres are nice and grippy today. It really is fun to hustle around the bends. Obviously it's not a sports bike per se, but it still is a lot of fun. Right, we'll just find somewhere to wrap it up now and have a final walk round. All the indicators, all the switch gear, it's all very tactile, easy to use. I just love that low end pull that it's got. We just whiz up here and have a final walk round. So obviously I've come to a stop now, it's in first gear. You just now hit N here, which puts it into neutral. So I'll give you a little sound check. Very nice. Little look at that dash. Brilliant. Well, I'll just show you the fuel tank and the front trunk in a minute. What we've got here is a convenient sort of parking brake. Obviously I'm rolling back now on a hill. You just put that on and it applies the rear brake. Nice decent side stand, like most Hondas. That's good. Alright, let's have a good look round. As I said earlier, that's a Honda taller screen. It's okay, it's better than the standard one which comes about there, but I think I'd probably, if it was my bike, I'd probably get something a bit different, MRA or GV or something down those lines, or Puig. So new forks for this year, very plush forks, non-adjustable, not fancy at all, but they do a very good job. It's very smooth, compliant ride. ABS is standard, obviously. There's your single disc, which is actually more powerful than you think. Stops very well. Ultimately reliable NC750 engine there. Good service intervals. You know, you see the way it rakes forward there, cants forward. You can get to the head quite easily to do the valves if you're into DIY. So that's a nice touch. Just take the radiator off, get to the valves easily. I like that. So there we have it, dual clutch transmission. But the usual excellent Honda fit and finish. So this one's been fitted also with the Honda top box, which takes 2 helmets, I believe. This is all kind of one piece here, which has the plate to mount it to. Nice to see they fitted decent Metzler Torrance tyres. That's good. So preload adjustable shock up in there. I have taken a passenger on the back. No complaints whatsoever. Did about 100 miles and good reports from the passenger. So that's all good. So switch gear, all very nice. There's your sort of paddle shift. So there's minus for down gears, and there's your plus there for up gears. So you can actually put it into manual mode on this button here, and then you can change gear manually if you want, but for the most part I just kept it in auto. It worked fine for me. So to open the front, keys in here, turn this here, and nice storage space there. Is increased for this model by 1 litre. Get a full face helmet in there, there's your toolkit in your manual, so plenty of room there. And you turn the key that way, and obviously the petrol tank's at the back on this, and there's your fuel cap there. So what I found with this bike, quite interestingly, it's 210 or thereabouts kilos for this model. If you look at it, you know, the engine is very low, the cylinder head is canted out that way, so the weight's kept very low. The fuel tank is sort of down here as well, rather than being up there. And off the side stand, it's surprisingly light. It really is. To me, that's more like a 170, 180 kilo bike. If I just take the brake off, it's actually really quite easy to push about. So that's good if you're having to move it around in your garage or whatever. Centre stands are available as an optional extra. Bolts down there. They're around about £150, I believe. Shame they didn't fit that as standard. On a bike like this, it sort of needs it really, I would say. But yeah, guys, Honda NC750X, an absolutely brilliant all-rounder. I would definitely buy one of these myself. They're well priced. Do it all motorbike. They're sort of a bike that cruises really relaxingly. I do enjoy the way they cruise at sort of around about the 70 mark. Can't rate them highly enough really. Incredibly reliable, good for touring, a decent size, and yeah, 5 stars in my book. I've thoroughly enjoyed it and don't really want to give it back to Honda next week. So guys, if you wouldn't mind just posting your comments down below, please give me a like, share and subscribe as always, and I will catch you again in a few days for another review. Take care, ride safe, all the best.